Melanie Stevens from Ignite Copywriting. Welcome to the Foxy Property Chat podcast.
Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. So let's just start things off. So what's Ignite Copywriting? What do you do? And sort of who are some of your clients? Or not, you don't have to name the clients if you're not comfortable doing that. But so you work for real estate agents?
I do, yes.
Yeah, predominantly, or you do a bit of things in other industries as well?
I'm starting to branch out a bit more now into other stuff, but my bread and butter is real estate.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And so what sort of, for many people, you know, copywriting, I think I know what that is, but they're not really sure. So it's kind of like a freelance writer?
Yeah.
Yeah? And so what sort of things what sort of work, what sort of writing do you do?
Well, for the agents, I do their listing descriptions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is the main thing that I do.
Yeah.
Blogs,
yeah.
Different things like that. Their market updates, things that they would post, letterbox drop and all that kind of stuff. And then little random bits and pieces that they just don't have time to do.
So basically any written word that they like to put out there, whether it be for like a marketing channel or their listings, you can sort of write those sort of things.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. All right, so how long have you been into writing? Since you were young? Like you've always been a writer? Or
3.
Yeah.
I've been writing for years and I love it, even though, you don't have to be someone who's, insanely well-trained in writing. You just have to have a passion for it. And when I left high school, I went into uni and I studied a semester of linguistics, which was just ridiculous. Just hard.
What is that?
It's like the breakdown of language.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just too much. And someone said, well, why don't you go and just do a communications degree? I don't even know why I picked that. I just did. I think it just sounded fancy. And I loved it. And I had majored then in professional writing and ended up in the industry eventually from that. But I had written books and self-published and... I just love. What
sort of writing do you? Obviously, this pays your way, sort of thing. But in your, say, I don't know, your spare time, if that is a thing, what sort of writing would be your favourite? Like fictional writing, or
fictional writing. Yeah, I've written 4 books before, and I'm working on another one. As someone's like writers are, I think they're always secretly working on a book somewhere. Yeah. If you're not working on a book, you're probably lying. But yeah, just being able to do other stuff. Yeah. Aside from property, although when you're writing fiction, you tend to describe the houses and that in your fiction really well. So, which people have told me, they're like, funnily enough, I read your book and all the houses and buildings are described really well. I'm thinking, oh, God, just carries through, doesn't it?
So, what do you think good copy or good writing is important in any business, but particularly in real estate?
It's really important for me to capture the house and the person that is going to eventually honour the person that lives there, but also honour the person that's going to be moving in. So you've got to really think about who that market is and
try and convey that through words.
Yeah,
that sounds tough.
It's because you got your facts. Takes practice.
You got your facts of like how many bedrooms, how many square feet, dining rooms, and that. So. And the other words is where I suppose you really come in and shine as a copywriter. Because I wouldn't know what to write apart from listing.
It's hard. Facts. I mean, you've got to obviously when you say a house, there's a whole different range of it. It could be something that really needs renovating, something that's sort of okay as it is, something that's really high end that the current owners have put a lot of work into, and it's just sort of finding who you think's going to live there, who it would appeal to, and then get in that mindset of, okay, I am that customer with so much money. You know, what's important to me if I was going to be buying this house?
Get in there, frame of mind, put yourself in their shoes.
What am I looking for? Does it have the right living spaces? Does it have the right bedroom, school zones? Walking tracks? Am I an active family?
Everything they're thinking about, I suppose.
Am I a family that hates to cook? So we live around the road from a whole stack of restaurants, and we can just walk there every night. So
that's really good. Yeah. And how long should a property listing? How long are they usually? Pretty short.
It depends on the quality of the house. We've got more to vamp about. But I sort of have a rough estimate of how far I go. If it's about maybe between 200 to 400 words. I mean, you want to have it be exciting, but people don't want to sit there for 10 years reading all about it. It's enough to explain the house, make it enticing, but also be like, come see it, which is what the agents want. They're like, it's there.
A preview.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Come and see it then.
Get them through the door.
That's what they want. They need people through doors, shoes off and in.
Yeah, that makes sense. So would you say, like, most agents right now, like the listings around Australia, around the world even, write their own copy, or like someone in their team does it, or a lot of people starting to outsource or have outsourced in the past?
A lot of people, I think, are starting to come around to having copywriters. You contact people and they're like, oh, we've either got someone in-house or they have a freelancer already. There still is quite a number of agents that write their own copy, and you can tell.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. Well, they're agents, I suppose. Maybe writing's not their strong suit.
Yeah.
And it's something they put off to the end of the day, and they're just trying to get through it, and it's just another tick.
There's so many that are just sitting in the office at 9 o'clock at night after everything else is done, trying to piece together words or just going, well, I sold number, 17 on the same street, and it's kind of similar, so maybe I'll just like pinch that copy and
good point.
And it's just not. It's never has that wow factor that I think copy does when you have someone professionally look over it for you.
Well, I guess it's like any sort of contractor or specialist in any field. You can do it yourself, and like for me, if I was to build a fence or something, I'm not very good at that, and the fence will turn out very, very average. Or you pay an expert to come in and do it properly.
Yeah, I mean it's a fence. But.
Well, I could do it.
That's the thing. It's like it's a fence, but it's leaning. That's almost like copy. It's like you've got words in there, but they're not great. Yeah.
So I suppose we touched on it, how to maybe go about it. We'll get into a little bit of that further. But so what to you makes good copy?
That the house is or apartment or townhouse is described correctly, and that's really important as well. Every agent has an obligation to make the house sound as good as possible, even if it's a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
But it also has to be as correct as possible. You can't oversell something, because that's actually a big no-no legally.
Yeah.
So it's just finding that balance as well, and really knowing your audience and your target market of who's gonna buy it, that you sort of are attracting the right people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because even if you're not the one buying the house, you might go, well, I know a young couple that's looking, and you might say, read it and think, well, that's them. That's perfect. And then you send it to them. So it's got nothing to do with you. It's
do you often get the photos as well to look at? Yeah, well, I suppose otherwise what would you have to go on?
Well, I sometimes get to go and look at the house. It depends on where it's at and timing and that, but I do it all pretty much from just photos and floor plans.
And just quickly on your sort of business model, being a copywriter, or freelancer, do you have to do a lot of travel, or can you do most of it from home?
Most of it's just from home.
Yeah, and you build that relationship with an agent over time, and they're happy to...
Yeah, they trust me.
Yeah, I suppose it depends, and like new clients might take a bit more talking to, or some clients are very hands-on. Some will just literally flick through an email with like, here's 10 more or whatever it is. Yeah, okay.
So you build that trust.
But that's a good sort of business model, being able to work from home and that sort of stuff, freelance writing.
A lot of people say to me, actually, they're like, oh, that's so good, you work from home. And then when they actually think about it and go to try it, it's actually kind of hard. You've really got to stay focused.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a bit, because I've actually been there. I've worked from home and worked from by myself, and I actually used to go out and work in some cafes or go to like what they call co-working and that sort of stuff. But I often found it hard at home because there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy just to
the TV's
chuck the TV
right there.
on. Or all of a sudden you become a master cleaner. And you're like, oh no, I might do a quick vacuum.
House always needs a clean.
Yeah, whereas you don't do that here at work. You're sort of always on. How do you stay focused? So is it a problem for you, do you find?
Not really, but I probably do stay focused easily because my work is very deadline based as well.
True, that's a good point.
So you can't just be like, oh, I'll get to it in a minute, because the agents are,
Or if it was self-paced and you had months, like an assignment where you've got all year to write, or a book, like your own book, so you've got no deadlines or something.
Yeah, sometimes agents are like, well, it's now 9:30 and we need to have this property online by 12.
Yeah.
and that makes you move quick.
Yeah, that makes you move very quick.
You're like, well, I'm going to put down this coffee and cake and get back in the office.
Yeah, good point.
Put the vacuum down.
Yeah. So do you mostly work from home, or do you find that or do you need like a quiet environment and or a track playing in the background, or do you just sort of you're happy working
either quiet or a bit of ambient music, Spotify jazz channel or something like that on.
I always found I can't work to like the radio and stuff when there's music, lyrics, like English lyrics.
Yep.
Because I don't know, your brain or my brain, my scattered brain sort of pays attention to it and tries to not understand it, but you sort of half overhear.
Yeah.
It's like when there's a conversation happening in the office or something, like sometimes you can tune it out, but I'm not very good at it. I need if I need something serious to do work, I'll throw on like some sort of music, ambient music that has no words. But I also found sometimes a cafe was good, just because you feel a bit uplifted because there's other people doing work and you get that bit of energy.
One of the young people.
Yeah.
All the hipsters. Yeah. No, I've definitely been guilty of having music on with words, and I'm typing something in email, and and the words start to turn into what 100%. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's like dictating the song, and then I'm like, that's it would be like a word that they've said. So, yeah.
And do you find is writer's block, is that a thing, or do you find it like hard to get into work sometimes, or and if so, how do you get past that?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
I used to work for a company, and we had a book that was a handwritten book, and we used to call it the Bible. And it had all of our best opening sentences, titles, things like that for copy in it. Anything time we'd read a magazine or see something online, we'd go like, oh yeah, Leafy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's my day off.
Yeah.
And that was just really, really helpful to me to have that guide. So I've actually started one for my own business now. So every time I find something. Yeah. So if I'm struggling, I can open that up and it'll give me some words just to help me get into the flow of what I'm writing.
That's a good idea.
And so it's good because magazines and that have some great stuff, and I think, that's a good line. Write that down.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll love that. Put that in there.
Helpful. Yeah, I sort of find that too. Like sometimes I'll watch some YouTubers and see how they're editing and putting their videos together for ideas of how to put, because I do a little weekly video here at Foxy. But often I just find the best way to do it is just to do it. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, but just like almost sit down and force yourself to sit down for a certain amount of time, whether it be 10 or 15 minutes. And once you're in it, it's not too bad. It's just the first 5 or 10 minutes, all the thought of it, and just getting into that flow, because there's so many distractions. But once you're in, it's amazing how quickly something can actually get done when you're hyper focused. Yeah.
Well, I used to work with a girl who used to do copy with me as well, and she used to get so stressed out when you have a new property, and it like she had all these ideas, but she didn't know what to write, and she would always start from the very, very top, like the first sentence, and she'd just be sitting there for like 20 minutes, and I'd go up to her and say, what's happening with the, I can't find the words, and and I'd say, well, and we'd look through the photos, and she'd be like, oh, that's a great kitchen, you could do this with it and that with it. And I said, well, start there, like start in the middle there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you love the kitchen's like the best bit, write that down, at least it's down.
Yeah.
And then you can write the other copy around it. You don't always have to start at the, Leafy Street, you to have to always start at the top.
Start at the top.
If you find something interesting, you just start where it.
That's actually a really good idea. I've never even thought of that. Yeah. I've never started an video edit from the middle or the end. That's actually a really good idea.
I don't know if you can do that with videos. I'm not a video person.
Yeah, I reckon you probably could.
If you've got an idea for something, you think, oh, that'd be good, write it down. So then when you come to it later, you've got that idea.
We stayed overseas for a while, a couple of years ago, and I went to one of these co-working places. It was in Germany, and they had a really good concept which I liked for people who work from home. I haven't seen it here, but basically you'd pay, which is a bit of a weird concept, but you'd pay for the day. I think it was like €10 or something to go, and you'd basically be paying to work. So you'd go and join this group of usually 10 to 15 others, and it was all set, like the whole day was programmed and timed. So it'd be segments like the first hour and a half, and no one was allowed to talk or anything. And you had, at the start, you'd set your objectives of what you'd do that day, and you'd write it down, and you'd have to say it in front of everyone. And then at the end, you sort of went back and said, and you had to put money on as well. So if you didn't get there, how much money you'd put to the group for everyone for a joint dinner. And it was a big, when everyone else is working and you sort of put music on or whatever, and the amount of work I got done in that one day would probably eclipse the other 4 days. I know it sounds really stressful, and the next day your brain was just done though. So I found the next day I couldn't do anything because I was like, I don't think I could keep that pace up. But oh man, if I could work like that every day, I'd achieve some things.
It's
in my life.
Workshops and that you go to where it's just the information, everything's just so intense. Yeah. So the next day you just tired.
Buggered. Yeah, no, but it was good. It got me working, I suppose, and focused. Next question I had was blogs. So blogs are huge back in the day. Do you think they're still important? Is there still a place for blogs, or is a move to sort of video and that making the blogs redundant or less important?
I don't know. I think there's still a place for them.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps to keep your website and that fresh if you're posting content on there. It helps like with your SEO and search engine optimization and all that.
Because SEO, I know that's important. Yeah. Like they like the refresh and everything, but I just don't know how many people are still going to a blog unless you're like a really top someone in that industry or a famous sort of website known for their articles and stuff. I don't know many people who are just going and reading blogs anymore. Like it's almost I don't. But in saying that, I have Googled things which have landed me on a written blog or so maybe that's more the way they're being found.
Yeah, and you can always use the same content. Like if you want to post it on your website, you can also put it on your LinkedIn and on your Facebook and just keep your content fresh of just trying to talk to people about and then they can link it to their Facebook going are you interested in this or whatever? And I guess it just can also help you gauge how many people are viewing
that's a good point.
Things, but videos and that are great.
I'm more of I watch videos over reading. I'm really bad with reading. I lose patience very quickly, so I'd rather watch than read.
It does save a lot of time.
Well, I just learn better that way, and I can focus more. But I always think it's importance of a blog. Maybe when I go to a website and I check their website out. For whatever information, if I'm looking to do business with them or something, give them my business. If they have a blog page, I usually go to it just to see what's up. Like I usually don't read their whole article or anything. I'm not that thorough, but if they've got a blog and they're regularly updating it, you think, well, they're on top of it. They're switched on. And that's with Foxy. We have a blog, but we haven't updated in ages. And I actually think that's something we need to focus on. Perhaps next year is get back to updating the blog regularly. Because when people are checking you out, it might be the difference between them going with you or not. Because I go to some websites and their blog hasn't been updated since 2015 or something. You think, are they even still in business? Like, are they still around?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
You're better off just deleting it, I reckon. Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe not, but
as long as you're keeping your content fresh. Yeah. If you post a video once every 3 months... it's sort of, it does look a bit slow. Yeah. Even if it's like you don't have a lot of time, it's just something short. Yeah. It shows people that you're active.
Just a bit of an update even. Yeah. Like what you've been up to.
We're still here. Yeah. We're still in business. We haven't gone under.
Like this year's been really busy for us, yada, yada. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's something that sort of another reminder to me to get to talk to the team about.
Especially with you guys, because you have such a visual business. Yeah, you're like, look at us in the houses doing the thing. Don't you want your house style? Talk to your agent.
Well, we do lots of videos and stuff. It's just we definitely could be more helpful in the written form as well. And LinkedIn is a strategy that we're looking to get into more. Particularly with Jake, who he's become out of the truck a little bit more now that we have Cam we have 2 people in the truck now, so Jake can step out, and he's actually really good at writing. So the plan is to get him more on the LinkedIn side of things, writing articles, getting found through that social media presence. Yep. But also we can take those business type content, and I suppose it depends what sort of that's. This probably isn't for this podcast, but that's Jake writes more on the business side of things, how we're running our business and the numbers. So maybe not all of that is pertinent to the blog, which is in the past Phoebe's written articles on how to styling tips and things like that. So we just got to find a balance, I suppose. But perhaps something's better than nothing.
Definitely.
So what's involved in your process? So say let's go to a job that for a first-time client. So not now maybe that you've already established your process and that trust there, but say someone comes to you fresh and says, I want some listing written. What do you ask for? Do you ask for, I'll let you just go for it.
So they've come to me and say, hey, we're looking to get freshen up our listings. Usually they come to me and they want to know two things. They want to see a portfolio of stuff that I've done before, and they want to know how much I charge as well. So they can see if that fits into their vendor paid advertising or if they have to pay for that themselves. They're not like going to be scared by some bill. And that's sort of what I sort of obviously respond back, whether it's phone or email, let them know what the process is of what I need. Here's my price, here's my portfolio. And then what I need from them, which would be if you decide to write copy together, I need 7 at least minimum photos of the property.
Gotcha.
Floor plans are always so helpful. My agents know that. They're like, I'm sorry, I haven't got the floor plan back yet. And then so I say to them, you know, when do you need the property by? Like, when are you launching? And then we work out together. When they go back and forth, they send me helpful notes. And we get the process
going. You got
going.
questions and stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I can't see in photos that it's always helpful to know. Like, it maybe if the house might have a special feature, or it's in a school zone that they really want mentioned, or it's like the quietest street in Brisbane. I can't hear that like, in photos.
Like, do you have a brief for them to complete, or it's more like if there's any key points, can you just let me know?
Yeah, they just sort of let me know the key points these days. I used to be really, really frightened and want to have like so many notes about everything because I just didn't want to miss anything at all. But these days I've sort of been writing for so long, I kind of can look around the house and go, I can see that, I can see that, I can see the features of the house, the VJs, the ceiling ornaments and I can tell if a light's been custom made and that because I've seen so many houses. I'm like, that's new. I've never seen that before. So when a vendor's put something special in.
Yeah, cool.
High ceilings.
People
love high ceilings in Queensland.
Do, apparently. Yeah, I can see the appeal. I'm a tall person, so.
Oh, it's nice and cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But also, if you're a tall person.
I got a question, a bit of a selfish question. So we're starting an online store here. We're going to be listing some products. They're actually behind you there. They're our first sort of products. And I guess I've been tasked to write, probably get some help from Phoebe and the team to write the product descriptions. How would you go about, and I'm sure this sort of stuff applies to other people, how would you go about writing that sort of, like where would you even begin? Would you start looking at, obviously you can describe the item, but maybe is there more, should we be thinking about how it's going to be used, or is it going back to that initial point where you said is putting yourself in the buyer's shoes and thinking about how they're going to use it?
Yeah. Well, it sort of, I guess, depends on the product, but just seeing, obviously, describing it correctly so they know what they're buying.
Oh yeah. Sort of weight and the dimensions,
all that bit.
Yeah, good photos.
And then what's it for, and that too, because sometimes depends on.
It's like, what is that
thinking,
for?
Is it a hanging thing? Do you put
good
it?
Point.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would do anyway.
And maybe even because I think some of these are some aren't on others' websites, like a big website. So maybe look at how they've described it as well for some ideas. Obviously, you don't want to copy them, because that's bad for Google, but also just ethically,
it's always good to just see what other people are doing and look up sort of boutique kind of places and see how they describe things. They use a lot of creative. Language. It's always fun, and they name their products really cute as well. So you come up with stuff. It's like something that's unique to you. So you're like, this is our so and so, and then you can kind of trademark it a little bit and be like, So when people maybe have heard about it, they can search for that name and it'll come up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to know. And I suppose, just generally, if someone was looking to rewrite their website or something, do those principles still apply? Like maybe a good place to start is looking at some of your competitors or the best people in your field industry, and that's interesting how they've used it, some of their wording. Is there anything else they really need to think about, or we've sort of covered most of it now?
Probably more from obviously getting as many words in there as you can. If they're looking for something in particular, like I've just done a job, and hopefully I'm allowed to say this because we launch it. They're from a totally different industry, but it's from actually slushy drinks.
Okay, cool.
Like the ice drinks and that you do. And people know those slushy machines as like 10 different things. So we've tried to work into the copy like daiquiri, cocktail, mocktail, like all these different things, so that when people are searching for Brisbane, cocktail, it's like daiquiri machines, they've got a good chance of showing up as much as they can. So I got so caught up in what I was saying, I forgot what the question was.
That's all good. No, we're just talking about like how to write the website copy if you're looking to start from
I think
scratch.
it's just trying to find what's unique to you and using, you know, the most appropriate words you can, and obviously looking at what other people are doing in the areas, like, or other people in, particularly in Brisbane, are doing in the same industry as you. What makes them? What do you like about their website? What do you hate about it? And then you can take that to a designer as well and be like, I love what they've written, and that would be sort of my specialty. But I hate the layout. It's so clunky. You know, it's hard to order. Everything's like a mess. And that's what we've tried to do with this client as well. Just make theirs the most easiest, cleanest website that you just go, oh man, this is so easy. Rather than trying to find things and that. And who are you going to order from? The one that's easy or the one that took you 10 years and a map to find?
Making it easy for your customers. Do you read a lot for like ideas or inspiration?
For property. For property, I scour the internet for different things after I feel like I've used the content of my Bible enough, and I'm going to need something fresh. Magazines and that are always my friend as well. I've got a couple of agents that describe themselves as quirky, so they like things that sound different to other agents' copy, and so I'm trying to write for the client, like for the vendor and for the future buyers of the house, but also sound like a, you know, mid-30s man who's very excited about his property, you know, listing. So it's finding that balance as well. So magazines and that tend to have really good flow copy, you know, because it goes through so many editing processes and they people in Sydney and that come up with the best stuff. And I'm just like, it's not about stealing, but it's about, you know, seeing sentences and thinking that's great and how can I rework that maybe for the future for this, and upping our copy game across the board.
Sounds good.
Same old listing description again and again too, gets boring.
Absolutely. And do you spend a lot of time on social media for your business?
I need to spend more time on Facebook. I know that, but I just get sucked into Facebook and spend too long just scrolling. So I have my Instagram linked up to it. So then I can focus more on my Instagram, and it's meanwhile updating my business page and that. And I am a bit slack with my Facebook, but.
And are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn.
Do you do a bit? Do you do a bit there? Do you find?
I do a bit there. Again, I need to jump on, but I've been peak season at the moment. Everything's been so busy. But I try and do like essentially my blogging through Instagram. And put in like little posts on of LinkedIn. Things and LinkedIn and Instagram as well too. If I can fit enough into a caption, I'll do it.
So your business is called Ignite Copywriting. Is that what are the handles and all that sort of stuff? If someone was looking to reach out, or website even, just start with the website. They can start there.
Edit this because I can't.
No, you're right. You're right.
My handles are
because I've got two. Half the time. So it's Ignite Copywriting. Is that the website?
Ignite Copywriting is the website.
Just .com. And from there I'm sure there'll be some links or something that can get in touch.
So my property is Ignite Property Writing on Instagram. And then I have Ignite Creative Copywriting for my other business. But that probably won't be as much for this. But
that's fine. No problem.
Ignite Property Writing.
No worries at all. Well, Melanie, thanks so much for taking the time to come in to the warehouse, to the office today and have a chat for the podcast.
Thank you.